Good morning. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the morning. My name is Badhun Das. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. IGP is a social and ISO certified international training institute. In 3 years, we already served 3 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is international and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 250 plus profession and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional (IGP) is a training faculty for skill development which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in global labor market by providing professional qualifications. The Institute of Global Professional is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable. We serve student and community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe it's not effective to increase one skill just by acquiring formal education, so we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services nationally and internationally to students, job seeker, job holder, and also for learners, the respective campus locations. Learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IB is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business, it's a part of our human our vision. We are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinar, seminar courses, award, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to serve more than 100 premium services for free, like create own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and wall knowledge platform for gathering which can update all day. Kids learning game, website free courses, converse sites, and many, many more. We help to empower you to expectation and dream and become highly skillful. We offer several training program, webinar, and offline online courses for youth and learners by professional trainers coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. To ensure excellent and in-depth instruction, we are arrange the qualified trainer, speaker, and instructor. We extended free services to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in last 2 years. We have affiliation with cities and organizations in 70 different countries. Virtual signing with many colleges and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create a legendary generation of future scholars and citizens who will be accountable. We are constantly prepared to assist all knowledge seekers with valuable services. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice methods. We must have a genuine concept. Learner will represent more diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGM members are committed to offering effective best quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag your friend in the comment box. The support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. The support is very valuable for us. Thank you. To the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,215 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,215 webinars successfully. Wow. At present, we are going to start our 1,260 program name is Right Skill in ELT, and our speaker name is Ma'am Tera Athena MPD. Before I hand over the stage to Ma'am, want to share a very little bit about our speaker. She is an English lecturer, STKIP, PGRI, Bankalon Madura. Now, important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker in our presentation.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Miss
Hello, ma'am. Good
Babu.
morning.
Okay. Good morning, Miss Babu. Okay, this time for me. Okay, can we start now, Miss Babu?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
So
ma'am. You
good
can start
afternoon.
your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Let me get first. Selamat pagi and good morning for Miss Babu in Bangladesh and everyone in Indonesia. Selamat siang. Good afternoon because we have a different time, but that's okay. We still have in one meeting in this team yard. Okay. Let me greet everyone who stay in this live streaming. I do hope that every one of here are ready enough because today we will share about something that's very useful for us. Like Ms. Babu taught us in the previous the greeting, it said that knowledge is very large, knowledge is very broad. So everywhere, every time we can about some knowledge because we have some goals that is enrich our knowledge. Okay. Uh, Before we are going to the topic, let me give say thanks to Allah, thanks to God, because until now we have mercy and blessing for His, and then and today we still have time to share about the good thing, and the most a good person is someone who can share about a good thing. Okay, and today we will share about something special. But before we go to the topic, the main topic, let me give introduce my name. My name is Tera Athena. You can see in the slide is very clear, Tera Athena. But actually, yeah, maybe some of you are very curious. Athena, were I born from Greece or Yunani? Hopefully, no. I am native Madura. What is Madura? Madura is part of East Java. What is East Java? East Java is part of Indonesia. So, anyone who wants to join in Indonesia, you can come to Madura, and we can see in the in Madura, Bangkalan, and we can share about another point. Okay. Actually, like Miss Babu said, I am an English lecturer from STKIP PGRI Bangkalan, especially in English department, and my passion in academic lecture skill that is listening, writing, and also the discourse analysis. Discourse analysis is something special for me because when I spend my time to be a lecturer, to be a teacher, I got something a special thing that is when we as a learner, when we use the language, we need to consider several considerations to make ourselves is a success person to use the language itself. Okay, so are you ready to share about the discourse analysis? Of course. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, here we go. Okay. No. Discourse analysis is a knowledge about the language, not only the language, but we will learn about beyond the word, clause, phrase, and sentence that is needed for successful communication. Remember that language is not something like we say hello or we write down something. No, we need know better than it. What kind of things beyond that word? Okay. Before we are going to depth in discussion, let me know some differences between spoken and written discourse. The first thing that is grammatical intricacy. What is grammatical intricacy? Okay. Writing here is more structurally complex and elaborate than speech. Every one of you that learning English, something need more memorize many tenses, many structure, many pattern of making sentences in writing. But and it is very different when we want to produce the language in a spoken, delivering a speech. Sometimes we can make ignoring ignoring the structure or the grammatical. That is the first difference between spoken and written. The second one, lexical density. What is lexical density? Writing is more lexically. Yes, I'm quite sure that every one of you will realize that if we read something, if we write something, means that our sentences must be understandable, and it can be interpreted by searching some difficult word in dictionary or in Google Translate. But in speaking or spoken skill, sometimes we use slang words or maybe idiom, and those one cannot be interpreted just by searching in the what's that, dictionary or Google Translate. It means that the second differences between spoken and written discourse. Next, nominalization in written. Okay. Um, in writing, accent and verb are presented as a noun and very different with speaking, because speaking is more formal and we can make more natural sentences, and it is very different with the writing itself. The fourth, explicitness in spoken. So what does it mean? Writing is more explicitly. When we read something in our writing and then we get something difficult, what kind of this sentence means, so we can elaborate, we can searching by others sentences, and we can predict, oh, that's the point, that is writing. But in speaking, we most of us say something and try to guess what the speaker say implicitly. Many considerations that happen when we use language and try to understand in spoken communication. Okay. Okay. Why in spoken is more implicitly? Because when we want to predict what does the speaker say, sometimes we consider about the background, the situation at that time when the speaker say blah blah blah. Sometimes it will influence us to predict what does the speaker say, what does the goal of the speaker at that time. Okay. And number five is contextuality, that is, okay, we are going to number six here. The spontaneous nature of spoken. Okay. Spontaneous nature of spoken, it is very clear because in writing, based on the number two, is very related to the grammar and organized, while spoken is more disorganized and very nature. We can produce the word what's that, spontan, without many what's that, like make some draft, you just say in nature condition, means that in spoken is more spontaneous. And the last one is the repetition, hesitation, and redundancy in spoken discourse. Spoken creates more repetition, hesitation, and redundancy because it is produced the real time, and it is quite different in writing. We know that in writing we prohibit to use same word, means that we need our skill to make some synonym of the following what is that, sentences that are appears in our writing, and it is very different with the spoken skill. Okay, now we are going to another one. Okay, when we talk about the language, the difference between the spoken and the writing itself, now we are going to another aspect that happen in our surrounding, in our environment, that can help us to be success communicator, to be a success person, to analyze, to understand. what's going on when we say or we read something in our environment. Okay, we can start from the discourse and society. Here we go. Spoken and written occurs in particular social and cultural setting and is used and understood in different ways in different social and cultural setting. Yes, of course. Okay. Um, I call that is discourse community. What is discourse community? Okay. Discourse community like this one. We as a human, we will make a group. We available, we stay in a group of people. We have a certain activities. We make some communication. We make conversation, dialogue, or daily communication, and then we have goals. Means that that is community. So we can make some reflection to ourselves. You know that we as a person will stay, will live in this world in different or a very various communities. Take for example, I have several teratena as a lecturer. I have for about three communities. The first is a lecturer communities, and then the second one is I have what is that in Indonesia is like a Dharma Wanita or a woman association, and then the next communities is head of department communities. Okay, when I have three communities or someone else of you will have a several communities, it can be more than one communities, it will create something different when we use the language, we use different sentences when we want to produce the word in speaking or in writing. It can be concluded that actually we use the language must consider where we are when we say something. Take for example, I'm here. I say something in this vineyard as an academic lecturer. So I will some a different vocabulary. I have a different gesture. I have a different physical response to make my communication is understandable to the listeners. And it can be happen different. If I have to say something in front of Dharma Wanita or Woman Association, because in Dharma Wanita I'm being a secretary, so of course I will have a different language when I have to say something in front of the members at that community. Okay, let's continue. Wait. Okay, here we go. Oh, sorry. Okay. So, a discourse community, like we have discussed in the previous slide, that is a group of people who share some kind of activity, such as member of club or association who have regular meetings. Take for example, if a, if a student, maybe you are active in student association in department, as a teacher you can be active in teacher association program, or like me a lecturer, I will be active as a lecturer association program, or some community like call centers, maybe if you are in occupation, and then Darwa Wanita Association. So it means that every person can stay in different communities. Okay, here we go. Okay, when we talk about discourse and communities, means that we will learn about the social class, social network, and the language choice. Okay, let's have a look. When we are in stay at home, or we stay in what is that, in housing or a lux house, lux community, it means that we will have a different social class. So what is social class? Kita baca, let we read. Factor which influence the use of spoken and written discourse is social class. That is consists of occupation, education, income, housing, and its location. When we meet someone, if we meet someone, and then you feel some like a strange person, oh, who is that? They have a different language. They have a different physical response if they say blah, 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 blah. Sometimes we can feel that. Yes, remember that. We have to know the beyond the language. We have to realize that language have something happen in that beyond the language. So we can feel that, oh, this person is very different. Do we have to say, do we have to act or make a question or make something communication? Oh, I know because he is a blah 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 blah. Okay. So by understanding that actually our listeners or someone that say something in front of me have a different social class, it will create a different language. And thus social class is very depend on the occupation, education, income or salary in every month, and housing and the location of the home. When we stay in village or we stay in um, town, it will have a different social class. Okay. Next, it different considerable in their use of language and they interact in the social network. So that's why when we have a different social class, it will influence the social networks automatically. We will have a different social networks. So it cannot be doubt. It cannot be doubt that uh, we can sometimes need someone help to as a mediation to say something with another person because I don't have a link. I don't know him because I don't have any network with him because he's very special and I'm nothing here. Sometimes we say that one. Yeah, because social class will create a social network. And the last point, from the social class and the social network, it will create the language choice. So, what is language choice? Here we go. Okay. The language choice, the first time is using language. We use the language. We know the domain, our place, our social class, our network, and then we know who our listeners when we say something, if we discuss something or we make some communication, and then the topic will be chosen. That is the language choice. It is very relate when we have a different social class, we have a different social network, means that it's very clear that we will, the language choice is very various. It will be different. Yeah, it's about the language choice. Okay, so we are going to another slide. Okay, still about the social class, we know that we as a human, we as a language user, sometimes we need to consider about identity. What is identity? So let's have a look. A person may have a number of identities That is, the ways in which people display their identities includes the way they use language and the way they interact with people. Like I told you in the previous slide, it's about the communities. When we have a different communities, means that we have a different identity. I have to give a clear example. Okay, this one. Miss Terra is a lecturer. She is also a mother and belongs to Secretary in Women Association. Means that I have three identities here. The identity as a lecturer, identity as mother, and the identity as the secretary in a certain association. Yes, it will it will influence me when I have to use the language, whether in spoken or written language. Okay, another part, another aspect as human who use the language. We still consider about another part, discourse and ideology. What is discourse and ideology? Why it is very needed for us? Yes, of course. Sometimes we need to consider about ideology about some places. Take for example, I have to stay in Singapore. Take for example, so I need to learn more about some ideology or presupposition in that place, because this ideology will influence the culture, and the culture it must be adapted for me. I have to adapt it here, so I will be a success communicator. I will be trapped. I will not be trapped in a culture shock, because we have learned about some places ideology. What kind of ideology exactly? Here we go. I will give example. Maybe it make a clearer explanation for the members of this STEAM yard. Take for example. Here we go. Marriage in Madura, especially in Bangkalan, is different from the tradition or culture in Lamongan. So in one province, for example, in East Java, there are two there are there are two region that is Madura and Lamongan. There is one something different of the ideology of that places is that in Lamongan it must be the girl or a woman that proposed. But it is very different when we talk about proposed marriage in Bangkalan. The guy or the man that must be proposed when he wants to marry someone. So that's why we need to know some ideology when we will stay in different places. Because if we have learned about some ideology, it can make us not be trapped in culture shock, and we can make some communication is smooth. It can be flow and can be run well. Okay, we go another one, please. Okay, there is additional example when we learn about ideology, some places ideology or some person ideology. Number two, in certain culture, if a man asks a woman to marry him, she should just say yes. Yeah. Sometimes there is a one village or one places. If you proposed by someone, if someone would you marry with him, please you need to say yes in the same time. Do not delay, do not make any postpone to answer, because it is not for you. Yeah, it is in one places happen, but in different culture it is a very different. The ideology in Japanese person showing that a marriage proposal is not always directly stated. It's quite different. Is that? But that is a part of ideology of someone that we need to learn. Be us. We need to learn about that one because it is part of language. It is part of communication. If we stay in one places, okay, so do not ignore about this situation. You need to consider this ideology of some places or some person ideology. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible because ideology is not happen, it's not always happen in certain places, but also in some it's person. Take for example, I have a close friend, Tera Athena have a close friend with Maria, Ulfa, Mumun. We are very close, but actually we have something different ideology. So how to make a good communication, how to make our friendship is more smooth? Yes, of course. I have to know about some Mumun ideology, and also Mumun try to know about my ideology, so we can make our relation is run well. Okay, we are going to pragmatic. So what is pragmatic? When we talk about pragmatic, it covers relationship between the language and context. Yes, of course. Like we have talked about the different writing and spoken aspect. You know that in speaking, when we talk, if we want to interpret about someone's goal, someone intention in that language, we need to consider some context, what's going on in that places, so we can predict, we can understand what the speaker said. The following aspect relate to the crucial to the production and interpretation of discourse. There are three maxims here. There are three parts that it is very useful for us to use the language effectively, especially in spoken. The first thing is situational context. What does it mean? In terms of what people know about what they can see around them, in terms of what people know about what they can see around them. Take for example, we are in one places and then in one meeting, and then we know that where you are, person in that room, you need to know who they are, so you can prepare yourself to be uh, a good behave in that room, in that place. It means that situational context. The second one is the background knowledge context. In terms of what people know about each other and the world. Yes, of course. We need to know about the background knowledge of that person, of that um, people around you. We know to consider about the background knowledge. And the last is co-textual context. What does it mean? In terms of what people know about what they have been saying. Nah, for several maxims, thus can help us to make our language is more effective. Okay, sometimes um, if we do not consider about those maxims, sometimes we still have difficulties to understand what the speaker said. Where I am here, oh, what does the speaker say? Nah, so that's why we need to learn more about the maxim here, okay, before you involve in one meeting or in one occasion. Take for example, when I have to speak here to be a speaker in IGP occasion, so I need to learn more about what kind of occasion here, what kind of program here, and then who are they that will be invited in this room, in this team yard, and then what kind of discussion, oh, blah 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 blah. So that's what, after I identifying those aspects, It can be make me more prepare, more what's that? Have consideration what kind of topic they have to belong, what kind of language they have to deliver to the listeners, to the viewers in STEAM yard. So that's why we need to consider those maxim. Okay, next. Okay, actually, in this cross analysis, I will no, I will, but I give us many vocabulary, new vocabulary that can enrich our knowledge. That is many items that make us more confident to know better about our environment. Next, this item about velocity condition. What is velocity? Velocity come from valleys, something that is suitable, something like match. So, what is velocity condition exactly? Okay, here we go. We can read in this slide. The concept of velocity are a number of conditions that must be met that must be met. Generally accepted procedure for successfully carrying out the speech act, such as inviting someone to a wedding through the use of format written wedding invitation. Okay, I give additional explanation here about the validity condition. When we want to use the language, whether in a spoken or written, remember that we need to consider another aspect: the goals, the community, and then the beyond the language, and then for what the written is much prepared. If we want to make some wedding invitation card, means that there is a template format, a special format that must be obeyed, that must be yes by every person who wants to make invitation wedding card. Okay, so it is one example of validity condition that must be met. Okay, take for another example is velocity condition where we want to make some what is that telephone. If we want to telephone someone, and then we just say hello, Tara, without any greeting, without any greeting, just say Tara, is that you? Sometimes it is not good because you ignore some condition that must be met. The first condition is you are in a phone, and then you don't know who answer your phone, and then you didn't mention your name yet, so you need make some condition met, and then you can start to make some conversation. Okay, that one are the felicity condition example that I can deliver in this afternoon. Another please. Okay, here we go. uh, in spoken, I taught you in spoken, we need to consider about some cooperative principle. I called maxim. Okay, I call the item is maxim. There are four maxim that make us more cooperative, more being a good communicator. The first maxim is quality, the next in quantity, the third one is relation, and the last is a manner. So what is quality? Okay, quality is meant the kualitas in Indonesia. So what does it mean? Quality, that is people should only say, people, us as a person, only say what we believe to be true, and we have evidence. Why we need to be cooperative? because in this digital period, we are always, most of us, trapped by hoax news, some hoax information, because everyone can say in the platform of media social without giving some evidence. They just say blah 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 blah, and then we as the viewers have a look, and then, oh really, oh my god, blah 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 blah. That is not good. That is not good. Uh that is not not suitable with maximum of quality. So our reinforcement that when we want to make our spoken is valid, we need to use our belief in our spoken by supporting evidence. Give the evidence. Make our listeners or our hearer or our viewers are convinced to our statement. Okay. The next maxim is quantity. What does it mean? We should make our contribution as informative as is required for the particular purpose. Take for example, if we ask by person, where is the place? So we need to answer that specific place. Sometimes some of us, when asked by another person, take for example, where is the place? We answer that to the point just by saying, making many sentences. Oh, actually, I blah 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 blah, and then you mention the place. That is not a good example because this conversation didn't match with the maxim of quantity. So in maximum quantity, please, when you ask someone, if you ask by someone, you can answer that the point. Do not make many sentences that it is not relate with the question. Next, maxim of relation. We should make our contribution relevant to the interaction. Yes. If we want to say something, the topic that we are going to discuss with another one, we try to consider who are they? Who are your listener? Who are your viewers? Because if you have a different relation, means that the interaction it cannot be happen. Yeah, sometimes we feel that is that. Like for example, I am try to what is that? Say about listening. Try to teach about listening is blah 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 blah, and my listeners is women in association. They feel, oh my God, what Miss Tera said, I do not that one. Oh my God, what is that? So I will be fail. I will be fail. I will be not a communicator because I ignored the maxim of relation. Okay, is it clear? And the last maxim is a maxim of manner. Okay. We should be clear in what we say. We should avoid ambiguity. Yes, of course. In spoken, sometimes our students, or maybe it could be ourselves, just say something blah 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 blah, but we ignore that actually the sentence that are going to deliver to another viewers or another participant a very unclear or ambiguity. It is not good because if we do that, it means that we out of maxim of manner. Okay, so I do hope that um, we can adopt this principle and make our conversation is more effective. Okay, another slide. Okay, This is a flouting and violating maxim. So what does it mean? Are they a new maxim? No. Okay. Just make it clear about flouting and violating maxim. Okay. Let me read this part. Okay. A speaker is flouting a maxim if they do not observe a maxim but has no intention or misleading the other person. Take for example. Take for example. Um, I am as a librarian, and then there is a students come to the I said uh, in the try to borrow a book, and then at that time I'm very tired. I just say yes, no, nah. Actually, this expression, this speaking is not good because this expression, this surface is out of the maxim. But because I do not about the theory, because I do not about the maxim, so my attitude that called flouting. Okay, so it's mean that someone who do not know about the maxim, do not know learn about the maxim, do not learn about some the culture or some what happened in that place. He just blah 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 blah, and it is not suitable with the maxim. It's called flouting. But it is quite different if you are know about the maxim, you realize that the maxim is blah 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 blah. You are a librarian, so you need to do that blah blah blah. But you ignored that maxim, it means that you include violating person. Okay, it is very clear between flouting and violating maxim. Okay, here we go. There is a item overlap between maxim. What does it mean? Overlap between maxim that we as a language user sometimes we make some mistake or we make some atau didn't obey to the maxim, more than one maxim we cannot do that, means that overlap between maxim. Okay, I'll repeat for the last. There are four maxims: the first, quality, quantity, relation, and manner. If we do not apply those, all those maxims, means that overlap between maxim. If we only if you only ignore one maxim, it could be floating and or violating. So I do hope that every one of us can be apply those maxim in order our conversation is very effective and our listeners, our viewers, or our students can get the point directly. Okay. Okay. Another maxim, another aspect that happen in our environment that is about politeness. Why we need to consider about politeness? Because sometimes if we do not consider about politeness, people around us can can tell us that Tara, you impolite. Yeah, because maybe at that time I I didn't respect about the maxim that relate to the politeness. So what kind of maxim relate to the politeness? Let's have a look this slide. Politeness is important for understanding why people choose to say things in a particular way in spoken and written discourse. And there are three maxims. The first is do not impose. and then give option and make your hero feel good. Yeah, those maxim we can apply. We can um, always say we can use those maxim in our daily conversation or daily dialogue. So please do not what is that? Do not use us state us as the major speaker. Sometimes we need another one to involve in our chatting, to involve in our conversation. So do not impose. Give option. Make your hero feel good. So people who chatting, or people who say something with us, conversation or dialogue, they can enjoy the the dialogue at that time. Take for example, okay. Take for example, I have two examples here. We apologize for imposing by saying, "I'm sorry to bother you, but nah." Sometimes that's okay. If we want to deter, if we want to cut someone statement by saying, "I'm sorry to bother you, but is it okay for me if blah 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 blah?" Okay, it is. It sometimes it will be. It works for us to make our communication is success. Do not just say, "Wait, sorry, no." It is not good. It will make our listeners or our viewers or our hearers like cannot enjoy in our conversation. The second one is we make requests in elaborate fashion by saying, "Do you think you could possibly buy blah blah blah?" To give our hearer the option of refusal. Or we might make them feel good by saying something like, "You are better at this than me, than me." Okay. Focus on number two. Sometimes we need to make disagree about something or dislike about your friend's statement or your friend's dress. Yeah, sometimes we need give some uh, language by saying, "I think this is a better for you. It is good, but this is a better for you." So do not just directly, "You are not good by wearing this dress." No, we need make some elaboration of sentences or language to make your suggestion it can be acceptable by your friend. Okay. Okay. Nice. The last slide. This one another what is that? Another example of try to be polite if we want to ask someone help. Let me read. "Mom, is that you, Annie?" In the phone conversation. "Annie, yeah, it's me. Hi, darling. I'm at town hall station. Do you think you could possibly pick me up?" "Yeah." "Or are you in rush to have a dinner so you can go out?" "Oh, we already got dinner ready, blah, 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 blah." From this dialogue, actually, Annie wants mom to pick her up. But Annie didn't say, "Mom, please pick me up at this time, at 1 o'clock." No. But Annie tried to make some obey the three maxim, that is no impulse, give option, and then make the hearer more enjoy. So mom will will enjoy when, well, Annie need mom to pick her up. So from this dialogue, Annie so paid attention about the maxim of politeness. So we can adopt, we can do the same thing in our conversation, means that the relation between us to another one is can be more effective. Okay, the last one. Okay, there are three phrases here. Matur Sakalangkong in Madura language, but Indonesia is terima kasih, and in international language is thank you. Thank you for this occasion. Thank you for this time. I can share about my knowledge, and I do hope that it can be useful for us in our um, part of life. Anytime we can use this knowledge, we can what is that, apply, implement to us or another person around us. So thank you. Back to Miss Babu. That's enough from me, Miss Babu. Okay, Miss Babu. Okay, while we are waiting, Miss Babu, to handle this steam yard. Okay, here we go. Okay, Miss Babu. That's enough from me, Miss Babu. Miss Babu.
না অত বলতে পারো না আমি চালাচ্ছি না ওয়েট Thank
Miss
you so
Babu.
much, ma'am, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I learned something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, dear ma'am, for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable ma'am,
Okay.
please stay with us. After a short video, we will back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz completion. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer,
You're welcome.
we have webinar certification and online quiz completion. Welcome back, students. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have an online quiz competition and webinar certification. Ma'am, our first question is from Flami. Blessed Sunday, everyone. Good day, ma'am. What is the importance of programming in English language teaching? Thank you.
Okay, Miss Babu, I need to answer directly.
Yes, ma'am, you can answer now. Here is the
Thank you.
question.
Yeah, the first question from Plami Raquel Salvejo. Sorry if I have mispronunciation, okay? Blessed Sunday, everyone. Good day, ma'am. Good day. What is the important pragmatic in English language teaching? Thank you. Okay. When I know the definition of pragmatic means that we learn about the language, we try to interpret the language beyond the context. So sometimes we cannot just understand about the language just by searching in what is that a dictionary, just try to know about the sentences what the speaker said to us, but actually we need consider some situation beyond the language itself, the previous knowledge about the language that the speaker used at that time. So here pragmatics, the skill of pragmatics needed by us to make the language teaching is more comprehensive, more depth, and of course we can make our communication is effectively. Maybe that's the question, the answer from me. I think that it can make Mr. or Mas Vlomi Raquel Salvejo satisfied about this answer. Okay, that's all from me, Miss Babu.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Next question is from Jasi. How do
Okay,
you language varies?
okay. Thank you. The next question from Jersey Jai Ibarra. Okay, the question is how do you, me as the English lecturers, resolve for language barriers? Of course, when I try to more understand about the variation of language comes to our what's that, our environment, when I need to teaching about writing, teaching about listenings, we will adopt, we will listen about new language. So how I have to resolve this language barriers? So I need to learn about the culture, and then we try to make some comparison about some what is them some ideology about the places, and try to know about the supporting sentences, not only what sentences, but also the context of the conversation. Sometimes it's very help me to know better about what is the speaker taught me. Maybe this is a simple ways from me, because when we want to learn about the language, we need a long process, because language, it doesn't mean that ABC, but beyond the language, it need us to be more comprehensive. Yeah, that's enough, Miss Babu.
Thank you so much for your Now, our next question is from Ollie. How can we enhance development in multiple writing techniques?
Okay, thank you. From Orwell Rodriguez, How can we enhance the paragraph development in multiple writing technique? Okay. So when we learn about the writings, we can start from making a draft. Okay, make a simple paragraph and then relate to another paragraph, and of course it will create a multiple writing technique. So how? Of course we need the process, we need to consistent about what is the topic that we state in the first paragraph, and do not forget to add by supporting sentences. And we want going to another paragraph, please do not forget to make some connecting phrase or connecting sentences to relate the first and the following paragraph. Okay. And of course, when we want to make a multiple writing technique, don't forget you need be good on your writing, on your grammar, because writing is so need you in using the grammar structurally, and it is very different with the spoken. So I do hope that if you want to make a good writing, your grammar it must be good, because in grammar we will learn much about how to compose the subject one to be a subject to another subject, and then it will make your writing is more broad. That is, that's all, Miss Babu. Miss
Yes,
Babu.
ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am, our next question is from Aaron. Good day, ma'am. What is the relationship between discourse and social
Identity.
identity?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron Get at Salcedo. Good day, ma'am. Good day, Aaron or Mr. Aaron. What is the relationship between discourse and social identity? Okay, here we go. We know about the discourse. Discourse is like a sentence. Discourse is like the language. Discourse is like something happen in our environment that can influence our thinking, that can affect our understand about the language if we use the language. Of course it is very relate in our social identity, because from the social identity we will use some language, some item that is very different between one identity to another identity. So that's why we need to be able to analyze some discourse happen in one identity. So of course it's very relation, it's very relate, and the goals is only one: make our communication, make our what is that relation in that identity or in that community can run well. That's all from me, Mr. Aaron, or Indonesia is Mas Aaron. Back to Miss Babu. Miss Babu.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer.
Okay.
Once again, thank you so much, Honorable Ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable Ma'am, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new day. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
You are welcome, Miss Babu, and thank you also for the committee in IGP. See you on another occasion.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Honorable Ma'am, Before we move to the next webinar certification process, if you want to leave this studio, you can, ma'am.
Pardon me, would you mind? Would you repeat? Because there's the obstacle on the signal.
Sorry, ma'am.
Would you repeat?
Yes, ma'am, of course. Honorable ma'am, before we move to the next webinar certification process, if you want to leave this studio, you can, ma'am.
Okay, I don't know, but I can catch the voice. Yeah, I can catch the voice. Sorry, Miss Babu, I miss the voice.
Ma'am,
I miss
actually,
your
we are
voice.
moving to the. Ma'am, can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, and then?
Ma'am, I actually told that we are moving to the next our webinar certification process of this webinar. So, ma'am, if you want to leave this studio, you can, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you. I will leave to this group, this meeting. Thank you. Good afternoon.
IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Today our webinar topic is writing, listening, discuss skill in ELT and the code is IGP 5560 and the code is IGP 5560. Without code, no one is eligible for certificate. With code, you can claim your certificate anytime. How to claim an e-certificate? Go to www.eduigp.com, click sign in, log in if you already have an account or create a new account if you are new. Once login, click free webinar, select the webinar title and click continue course. Get enroll if you haven't enrolled yet. Type the code in your certificate code box. It is get get your certificate. It is auto downloaded in PDF file already. Just check it in your file manager or download folder. Don't forget to leave a review in our FB page, website, and in Google. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the most engaging part of our webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Go to www.slido.com and find today's quiz or scan this QR code for direct joining. Quiz code is morning. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. Don't forget to mention your friend to join our quiz session. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is morning. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is morning. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is morning. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is morning. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is morning. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is morning. With 38 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. Our first question is, ELT has been traditionally centered in grammar teaching, mostly reading and listening. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 2 false. The right answer, 36% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Barneser is holding the first position. Our second question is, a YouTube video is not a good research to practice the listening skills with our students. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 2 false. Right answer 89% people are right here. In the leaderboard, missile is holding the first position. Our third question is at beginner's level, the teacher should maintain this sequence listening, speaking, writing, reading. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 2 false. The right answer 18% people are right here. In the leaderboard, missile is holding the first position. Our fifth question is a skill is a special ability in tasks, sports, etc., especially an ability acquired by training. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 1 true is the right answer. 93% people are right here. In the leaderboard, missile is holding the first position. Our fifth question is writing, the teacher should focus on the student's interest. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 1 true is the right answer. 90% people are right here. In the leaderboard, missile is holding the first position. Our sixth question is the reading plan is a document that we can find in the option 1 curricular proposal, option 2 general annual plan. Option 2 general annual plan is the right answer. 30% people are right here. In the leaderboard, missile is holding the first position. Our seventh question is daily routine in tribal education are very useful to work on. Option 1 is speaking and writing. Option 2 the four linguistic skills. The four linguistic skills right answer. 56% people are right here. The leaderboard, Udit is holding the first position. Our eighth question is authority materials should be varied, comprehensible, graduated in difficulty, and written a context. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 1 true is the right answer. 97% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Udit is holding the first position. Our ninth question is ADHD is an illness suffered by many children in stage. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 2 false. The right answer. 24% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Udit is holding the first position. Our last and final question of morning session, obtaining the general idea, locating a specific information or recognize discourse makers are reading strategies. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 1, 2 is right answer. 88% people are right here. Congratulations, our quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. Slide will take a few minutes finalizing the result, and after that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly fit the skill never stop learning cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end like button, once again, thanks to all IGP knowledge seeker for your active participation as always. See you in the next session. Thank you.